people have worked. Everybody from the family who has struggled to put food on the table for their kids, to families who have been separated because of our deportation system in the United States, to families who are looking to return, back to their home country because it just seems like they came for a dream, and that dream did not exist once they got here. Because we've been through a lot of turmoil for immigrants, I think, over the last 10 years specifically, after 9/11. And so we have lived in a time that's been very harsh for people to survive, much less thrive. But in that period of great difficulty, I think people have overcome a lot of challenges and a lot of obstacles. So I think that we're at a crossroad, a point where people who have been here over time for at least 10 years are now at the point where they can hope again. And that's positive, because I think there was a lot of despair, quite frankly, for a lot of people throughout the last 10-year period. I know, because I help them. I deal with people on a daily basis who come to see me at their lowest point in their lives, and they want help. They're seeking guidance, and they're seeking to just be able to survive and to live and to help their children, et cetera, et cetera. And so I think right now it's really important for all of us to figure out what are the priorities. Part of the priority is legalization. Part of the other priority is education. Another part of the priority is reuniting families that have been separated. And that's from a familial sense. Businesses have their own set of priorities. They're looking to make sure that their workforce has their documentation in order. They've been legalized. That they're ready for I-9 changes in the system to bring H-1B skilled workers like writers, teachers, engineers, lawyers. So there's going to be so many different levels that this immigration reform plays out in terms of micro levels, where people are dealing with it on a personal level, to business levels, to how do we make sure that our workforce has all of their papers in order, to also policy levels, so who is it going to benefit? Is it going to benefit the person who's been 5 years here undocumented? Is it going to benefit the child who came with their parent, when they were very little? Is it going to benefit only the educated, the people who have an opportunity to have a skilled position here? And that's really, I think, where the level of conversation is right now in Congress. They're trying to sort out who is this going to benefit. And so now there's a bill out there which is over 800 pages, right? And so as a community who have been working through this all this time, lawyers, advocates, nonprofits, families, affinity organizations like Guanajuato, people that are helping people, churches, nonprofits, what is the best way to get involved? I think that the best way to get involved right now is to provide people education with what's to come, educational materials. I was saddened as I walked through the march on Sunday that the only thing that I was given was something from a person who tells fortunes, who reads fortune. They were handing out papers about how you can tell my fortune, somebody who is giving out information. But where is the education? Where is the good information, the valuable information about what do you need to do to get ready? What are the requirements going to be? How many years taxes do you have to pay? What documentation do you need? Those types of things that I think are very necessary on that one level of just how do I qualify. The other level is, well, how do I integrate? How do I become a full-fledged member of the community? And I think that's where it starts with our children, because our kids are the ones who are being born in the United States, and they're becoming part of the educational system, and they're going to school, and they're learning 2 languages, hopefully, but learning in English. And parents who are not born here have to have the necessary resources in order to direct their children. And And so I think that that's the next level of opportunity and challenge at the same time. That as Hispanos, a lot of us were, one in 6 Texans were foreign born. We have an incredible population of people who were not born in the United States living in Texas. And when legalization occurs, the estimates dictate or say that the population of the state of New Hampshire, where Mitt Romney's from, is going to be able to come out of the shadows and work with documentation, get a social security card, have a work permit, be able to drive without violating the laws, without a driver's license, et cetera, et cetera. And that's a positive thing, because then people can fully contribute to their best resources. When a person has a shadow over them, where they don't know if they're going to be here from one day to the next, it's hard to sow roots, put roots down, and build a house, or buy a car, or get a bank account, get some credit, have credit, be able to access credit, take out a loan. Those types of things that we take, people who are born here, take for granted as being really easy to access. Those are the types of information that people at the community level should be providing education for. And there's some out there, but I think that it needs to be more widespread. There needs to be a focus.
Last thing, a lot of people think that the immigration reform is going to be like a magic things to fix everything. Is true or not?
A magic wand?
Yeah, like a magic thing.
Well, I one would hope that there's a magic wand out there, right? But like anything else, it's a struggle for a person who was born here to actually finish high school. Look at the dropout rate among Hispanics not finishing high school. Those are people who are born here, many of them. And if those are people who are born here, have all the advantages of U.S. citizenship, and still we have all these obstacles in our path to becoming educated and going on to college and going into a profession that we've chosen. Think about it for other people who have more obstacles than we have. And so it's about the immigration reform is a key to open a door.
Yeah.
But you have to open the door yourself. And that everyone has to take that opportunity and open the door and run through it with their own ideas of how they want to contribute. And I think the biggest examples of that are, the Dreamers, where they have taken the llave, opened the door, and then run through it, full force. And not only for themselves, but for the whole community. And they inspire me because I see them doing these clinics, organizing sessions for people to participate, get their papers, get their work permits. They're not doing it for any monetary gain. And and I worry about them because they struggle so much. I know them, many of them very personally, and I see how much sacrifice that they have made for this cause. It's not something that they feel is an option. They feel like they have to do it. And so I think that people like me, older people, should use them as an example of how we should act. And so but they're taking an initiative on themselves, and that's what everybody has to do, is to follow that example of being proactive.